Hi guys, happy Sunday with Satan. So, alright, so we're gonna just jump right back into the children of Cain. It gets even better and better and better and better. So, yeah, another good day. 2 good days so far with Chico. So I have posted different, pictures and stuff. So thank you guys very much. Alright. It gets even more interesting. So, now her sacred weapon, we were talking about the goddess in the last one, so her sacred weapon is the double-bladed axe, or the sickle that ultimately spills the lifeblood of the chosen ruler when she decides that his reign must come to an end. So she is also the Banshee. I like that. She is the Banshee, the Beanside or Fairy Woman, the sinister a washer at the ford, who prophesizes the weird of kings and heroes and their death. So finally, she is both the Queen of the Dead and the Queen of Elfheim, and has control over the land, its spirits, and the cycle of the season and their rituals. That was a really powerful statement right there about the goddess. So this is why the Wheel of the Year is dedicated to her as regards to the male mysteries. In the Regency, the seasonal cycle represents the solar journey undertaken by the god. So he was seen as Robin. I don't know, I can't connect Robin Hood and King Arthur and all of this with the god. I don't see that with Robin Hood and his merry men. So I just can't do that. I don't like that allegory. So, in the summer, and King Arthur and his Knights of the Round Table in the winter. So these two aspects are comparable in the old craft traditions. Here we go. The dual aspects of the witch god known as the Lord of the Greenwood or Wildwood and the Lord of the Wild Hunt. Alright, so yeah, I like that better, a lot better. It makes more sense. In the Regency, Robin and Arthur were respectively the Oak and Holly King, the bright and dark twins, or the gods of the waxing and waning year, who meet in ritual combat, and whose modern myth is based on an ancient Welsh legend. So the victor continues to rule the overworld, Middle Earth, while the loser is banished to the underworld until his time comes again. Now, in ancient Roman paganism, the rite of combat was carried at Diana's Grove at the lake of Nemai, in Italy. So, in this Nematon, or sacred grove, the ruling priest, known as Rex Nemocrenus, I can't say that word, or King of the Wood, and to fight an annual battle with a challenger. You guys can see this on YouTube too, the reenactments. It's all over. It's interesting. It's really interesting. So, this revival always vanquished the reigning priest and ruled in his stead. So this is until he, in turn, was challenged by another younger person, a man, then replaced as a guardian of the sacred grove. So this is yet another example of the sacred relationship between the priest-king and the goddess of the land. And so in the Regency's mythos, Robin was Lord of Light, Lord of Life, and Arthur was the Lord of Death. So the young horn god, known as the Star Child, was born at the winter solstice, which is actually coming up. So, very interesting. When a single candle or lantern was lit under the holly tree to represent his coming into the world. The spirit of the old horn god returned from the underworld on St. Stephen's Day, which is December 26th. So, in the form of a wren. So, it would the king of the birds. I love it. You can connect that with Thoth, too. And it was that of prey of a ritual hunt by Robin and his merry men. So during the magical liminal 12 days from Yule to 12th night, the Star Child grew to maturity, with each day's representing a year in his life. A single day representing a year if you lived for 2 years. Oh my god, that's too many. It's too many. It's like dog years. I live in dog years. At the end of this period, when he was crowned as the Sun King and given the symbols of his kingship. So he was also armed by the goddess with the arrows of desires, or reeds, a spear made from Hollywood, not Hollywood, and a club of oak. So ironically, in the ritual giving of these, it is said, "Yet by those weapons shall he die." It's just a continuous cycle. So, at Candlemas, the feminine mysteries were enacted as the goddess took on her aspect of the maiden or maid. At the spring equinox, she was betrothed to the young god and becomes his flower bride. So their union was consecrated on May Eve with the sacred marriage of the Lord and Lady, or god and goddess. So they mix a Wicca into this. I see it. It's there. It's evident. A lot of phrases are from the Wiccan religion, if that's what you want to call it. So unfortunately, their happiness is fleeting and transitionary, because at the summer solstice, Robin faced a ritual death. In symbolic terms, he accepted the apple and drained the poisoned chalice and was replaced by Arthur, who pulls the sword from the stone or anvil and becomes the new king. But as the words of the rituals say, Robin and Arthur are essentially one, as the light and the dark are only aspects of one power making up the personality of man. So that's a very interesting thing. Yeah, this is really interesting. So they actually mirror forth our inner state, finding the strange balance of ourselves between the gods of the light and shade. The dark self balanced by the light. So that does make sense, though. So those who realize and recognize, what did I write? Oh, the unity of the two gods in the midsummer rite will attain the knowledge of the goddess, who loves them both. So, with the coming of Lammastai, the goddess was revered as the Great Mother, who is responsible for the harvest. So, she is also known as the crone who cuts down the Corn King with her crescent-shaped sickle. So in the old days, and then sometimes today, the last sheaf of corn and wheat left in a harvested field was carefully cut, and I've done this. I still have my corn doll. So I've just never done anything with it, really. It just stays there. So this sheath, sometimes called the Corn King, the Corn Maiden, or the old hag? Yeah. Was then carried in procession back to the farmhouse, and that's really weird because I live in a farmhouse. I love it, so it works perfectly. There it stayed, sometimes made into a corn dolly or corn baby, until the next year when it was plowed back into the land to bring a good harvest. So now at the autumn equinox, the god was honored in his role as the corn spirit, or the harvest lord, the father and keeper of the seed. So this would create the next year's crop. Now with the coming of Halloween, or Hallows, the god was established in the underworld as the Dark Lord of Death. Now the light concealed in the darkness. Now in traditional witchcraft, in his role as the goblin Jack-o'-lantern and the Lord of the Wild Hunt, he was called upon to open the bridges and the roads, the spirit roads and ghost roads, allowing the mighty dead, the hidden company, and ancestors to return to the world of the living and to participate in the Dumb Supper. So that does make sense. I like it, but I just still don't understand the whole King Arthur and Robin Hood and his merry men at all. So, now from this brief description of the seasonal festivals practiced by the Regency, we can see similarities with the mythos of Robert Cochrane's coven, and also with other modern traditional witchcraft and old craft beliefs. Now, in the case of the Regency, it is difficult to know how much of its mythology, symbolism, and ritual was influenced by the works of Robert Graves and Sir James Frazer. It was also heavily hinted by Evan John Jones and others that some of the more controversial aspects were watered down for public consumption. Now, ultimately, it does not really matter that much, as Ronald White and George Stannard and its other members created a series of rituals for celebrating the passing of the seasons, that are some of the most powerful, evocative, and atmospheric ever produced by any modern pagan group or individual. So that's interesting. I mean, I'm really glad that the Regency has really good results, but I don't know, it's too Wicca for me. Now, however, the main reason why they were so successful is that they were rooted in a traditional form of witchcraft, represented and as practiced by the Old Coven founded by Robert Cochrane in the 60s. So, that's just a brief description of, yeah, you guys know. So, we will pick up and leave, well, actually, we'll leave off there. So, I can actually, I'm running out of pens. So, alright, let's see if I can actually do this. I hope. There we go. Alright, let's see. There we go. Perfect. So yeah, very interesting stuff. Very interesting stuff. What do you guys think? What do you guys think with the whole Robin Hood thing? I don't like that. I don't know why. I just think it's pretty it's just it seems too fluffy for me, Robin Hood. You know, associating that, you know, it's, for me, it's buka. So, but still learning, and so it's good. It's not bad. It's good. So, do you guys know anything about the Regency? About the clan of Tubal Cain and the Inner Circle, which is the Regency? If you don't, I really think you guys should read this book. It's really interesting. I mean, the historical witch cult, all of it. It's just so much history, and we can actually learn from that, and we can actually apply, you know, aspects of that into our traditional witch practices. So, but again, I can't wait for George Pickingill, and the way that he went out, yeah, he wasn't going to go to his grave willingly, and I love it. So I thought that was really interesting too, because he was not going to go to his grave. He cursed, yeah, you guys, if you guys know that the tale, I'm not going to spoil it for people that don't know it, but if you do not, I actually encourage you guys to actually read on that. Read George Pickingill I don't even know where he was born. Somewhere in London, England, wherever over there. So, interesting. Very interesting, and it's such a cool, revered, respected, and feared man. Very interesting. So, it just excites me. I love the mythology around him. I love the stories around him to keep, you know, kids in line and all that good stuff. So, I think you guys will too. So, alright, you guys. I'll see you guys tomorrow. I love you all very much, and I will keep you guys updated on Chico. I will keep posting pictures. I did not know I could do that from my phone, and I can now. So, yeah, I'm far behind now in technology, whatever. So, I love you guys very much with all my heart, all the way from Venus all the way back down. And I'll see you all tomorrow. So, but yeah, thank you guys for your comments and your love and support, and you guys know how much it means to me already. So I love you all, and everybody have a good day and stay safe, and I love you guys.